Reviewers are all paid shills. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. I'm Gene Delasalo with Audioholics. So I want to have a serious discussion with you about our review and our advertising policy and just the general trend towards that I see on forums towards reviewers. And this is a video I was kind of apprehensive about doing, but it's something I've been thinking about for a long time. And then I saw a thread pop up on Audio Science Review where there were these commenters that were disparaging the fact that we give a product of the year to a loudspeaker that didn't measure as pristinely as some other products that we've reviewed. And then I saw a couple of small manufacturers accusing us of paid reviews, like we only give favorable reviews to companies that pay us. And that's something that really strikes a nerve, and it hits me really hard because that couldn't be further from the truth. I've been running this website for going on 25 years this April. And I've done my best to keep the utmost integrity of our publication and making sure that I keep the business sides of Audioholics separate from advertising, especially when it pertains to all of our review staff and writers. So I want to take a minute and just defend all reviewers, not just Audioholics. There's a lot of good publications out there, whether it's print magazines or it's online, companies like Sound and Vision, Stereophile, Home Theater Hi-Fi Online. These are all guys that have been in the business for a long time. They have very talented review staff. These are companies that, they do their utmost best job they can to give you guys good content and to keep the advertising stuff separate. That's at least been my experience in observing the industry for so long, because I've been in it for so long. So I want to go over our review policy so you guys have a better understanding of what Audioholics does. I can't speak for everybody else, but this is what we do. Number one, we do not charge for reviews. We have never charged for reviews. We schedule reviews and we place priority based on companies that we already have working relationships with. And we scale it out for the year. We plan everything out for the year, whether it's editorial or advertorial. I try to keep things like a well-oiled machine. That way we hit our benchmarks. And when a company sends in a product, we can review it within a 30 or 60-day window because we can't keep the products forever. So you have to schedule this stuff all out. We have a bunch of people that write reviews for us, very talented people, and not a single person on our review staff, whether it be James Larson, Matthew Pose, Tony Leota, Teo Nikolakis, none of these guys have any ties to the business aspects. I just ask them to write a review or do a video on a product that I'm going to send them, or I'm going to have the manufacturer send them. And I pay these guys a flat fee to write their reviews or do their YouTube videos. The only circumstances where that fee goes higher is if there's more work involved. For someone like James Larson that has to take a product outdoors and measure it because he wants the most accurate measurements of a loudspeaker or a subwoofer that you can't do indoors unless you have a really expensive machine called a Clipple. Obviously, I pay a little bit more because there's a lot of effort to that. And the same thing with YouTube. If there's a lot of production involved in a video, I pay more for that. So that's how our writers and our videographers are paid on Audioholics. They know nothing about the companies that I'm advertising with. It doesn't even mean anything to them. In fact, there's a lot of cases where someone like James Larson will come up to me and be like, Gene, there's this really cool product from this Norwegian company called Sigberg Audio. I'd like to review it. It's an active speaker. And we did this like maybe a year or two ago. And I said, yeah, go for it. Let's check it out. Let's see how it performs. So when James writes a review and he shows that the thing measures well, it sounds well, and he gushes over it, that's when I contact the company and say, you know what, there's some marketing potential here. We like your product. We have good experience with your product. We think it'll be a good fit for our audience. And I offer them advertising packages to bring more awareness to their brand. And that's how a lot of the magazines do it. The major magazines, they take in ad dollars from these companies that they work with. And that's just the way of life, because these are not nonprofit organizations. We have lots of expenses to run publications. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is there's a claim that we only review from products that advertise with us. And again, that's not true. We've reviewed tons of products in the past, and most recently, from brands that we never have an affiliation with. Klipsch is the biggest example. Klipsch has never given us a dime in the 25-year history, yet we review all their current products. I do it because they're popular products. Our readers want to hear about them, so we do the reviews. We just gave a Product of the Year award to Kanto Audio, and we have no affiliation with Kanto Audio. They've never given a dime to the website. So I try to mix it up, and I try to schedule as many interesting products as I can, as long as the brands look like they're reputable and they have good distribution, so that you guys can actually go and buy it, whether it's through click to buy or you could go to a local dealer. That's just kind of how we try to run this business. So I want to talk to you about how we acquire the products for review. So companies actually send us these products for review, or our channel partners like Audio Advice or Dream Media. We don't accept products from consumers. I want to make sure that whatever we review is brand new, sealed in a box, and it's from the manufacturer. That's just the best way I find to make sure that you're getting a product that's 100%. So after we get the product, we spend the time with it, we do the analysis, we do the review, we submit the entire review minus the scorecard to the manufacturer before we publish. Now, a lot of magazines don't do this, and I know that might sound controversial that we do it, but we do it sole purpose is for fact checking. We want to make sure that we've properly represented that product with all of its features, how it works, and especially because most of us do very exhaustive test reports. We do bench tests on these products. I want to make sure my measurements are correct. In fact, a lot of these manufacturers will go out and buy the same test rigs we have so they could get consistent results. I know Massimo Denon and Marantz has the exact same audio precision as I do, as does Yamaha and some other companies. So when I send a test report into these companies and I show them my test conditions, they match them on their side and they say, yeah, this is what we got too. Sometimes they don't jive. Sometimes they're off. Sometimes I make mistakes. That's part of life. And I'm glad that I submit these product reports before I publish them, because it's the worst fear I have is publishing inaccurate information. And the downside to this is it takes longer. It takes us longer to go through this process. It takes us more work. But at the end of the day, I can sleep better knowing that the information that's on Audioholics is accurate. And it's been peer reviewed not only by one of our staff that reads it, technical people on our staff, but also the manufacturer, usually the engineers we work directly with. So that's what we do when it comes to our review process. But in no way does the manufacturer have any influence on our impressions of the product. They don't get to change how we felt about the product. They often don't even suggest that. So, I mean, a lot of the companies we work with are just grateful that we're covering their products and we're being so exhaustive with our test reports. So this is all about the fact checking to make sure we do accurate reporting on these products. Now, we do charge for beta testing. Beta testing is completely different from an actual product review. A beta test is a non-publishable report that we do for the manufacturers that hire us to do it. So a most recent example is Monoprice. They sent me a series of inexpensive amplifiers. They wanted me to beta test. They paid me to beta test these amplifiers. So at the end of this beta test that I sent them, I said, you know what? These amps actually measure pretty good, with the exception of one model I didn't care for. They measure pretty good. I submitted the beta test to them. I asked them, is it okay if I convert this beta test into a written report for Audioholics so everyone could see it? And they said yes. So I took that exact beta test result, put some formatting on it, put some pictures on it, put an introduction to features of the product. I published it, and I fully disclosed that this was a paid beta test turned into an editorial report. Like I said, we're trying to be 100% transparent on our content. And we do this for a lot of companies. It's not just Monoprice. There's a lot of companies, there's loudspeaker companies that will submit us samples. And they'll say, you know what, we don't want you to review it. We just want you to test it. We want you to CEA 2010 test our subwoofer, make sure that the limiters are set right, that kind of stuff. And that's a big business for Audioholics. So not only do we do beta testing, I also do consultations. So if a company wants to do consultation on what kind of features should be in the next product, we offer that service too. We do consultations for our readers. So I have, if you see the pop-up on our site, I charge an hourly rate. You can contact me and I could give you some advice on setup. You know, I could give you some equipment purchasing advice. I could give you all sorts of advice on how to calibrate. That's just something that we offer. It's more of a fan service. A lot of times people just want to talk to us and make sure they're making educated purchasing decisions. And I love interacting with our fans as much as possible. So let's talk about Audioholics advertising. I know this is a dirty word, advertising, ooh, monetization. So let's be clear about this. Anybody that's running a major publication or a major YouTube channel that's doing this as a career, they have to monetize these properties so that way they can make a living off of it. That's just a fact of life. In fact, I gave up my professional career back in 2002, 2003. I was a senior level electrical engineer at a government defense contractor. I was designing audio communication systems for the government, and I had secret clearance. And I had a 6-figure plus salary. I had full pension, full benefits, full health care. I had to give that up. My wife was like, you cannot be doing that 40 or 50 hours a week and then coming home and doing Audioholics another 30 or 40, sometimes even more hours a week. It was just destroying me. It was wrecking our lives. And I had to make the leap of faith. I had to take the jump and walk away from an incredibly stable, guaranteed job to pursue something that's so risky, like an online publication. And I'm grateful that I did it. I'm very fortunate that we've had success on Audioholics, and I owe a lot of that success to the people that work for me. I owe that success to my wife, who supported me and actually works for me now. And she was a nurse, and she gave up her nursing career to work with Audioholics. And I have to thank the sponsors of the channel, the manufacturers, the people that have supported us, our patrons. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the success, and I hope others have similar success. I hope other magazines and YouTube channels have similar successes, because I truly feel that people that are writing reviews and doing YouTube videos of audio products, this is such a niche market. You have to love it. You have to have a passion for it. And I want to be an optimistic person and say that these people are doing it for the love of it, not because they want to get rich or they want to pull one over your eyes. I really believe that most reviewers have a good heart when it comes to giving you their assessment of product performance and what they like and what they dislike. So there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about with advertising. What do we charge for? Well, like I said before, running an Audioholics publication isn't free. We have lots of expenses, whether it's web hosting and just newsletter stuff. MailChimp is very expensive. Running the contests. All these platforms cost money. There's lots of fees associated. So I have to figure out a way to be profitable and meet payroll and pay my reviewers. So we charge for banner placements, just like print magazines charge for full page ads. You can see banners scattered all over the audioholics.com and forums websites. And I do my best to keep those banners away from the content. If you notice, our banners never get in line with the content. I just find that grating when you're trying to read a website and you get pop-ups at the bottom or side or blocking text. We do our best to avoid that. We have a newsletter. We have the largest newsletter in the industry that goes out to 70,000 opt-in subscribers for each time we send it out. We send it out once a week. So we have prime real estate in the newsletter. We plan out the advertorials on the right side of the newsletter with banners and advertorials, and then we have the content blocks in the middle. And that's a huge success that we built this newsletter from the ground up from day one, constantly pruning it and making sure that it has a high open rate because it has engagement, and that's really important. We charge for sponsored posts on our social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram. We have the largest Facebook presence in the AV industry, almost 200,000 followers on Facebook, and it's highly engaged followers. And same thing with Instagram. We have a very thriving Instagram and Pinterest. So we could feature these products for these companies that want to get better visibility and better engagement. That's another avenue that we charge for. We charge for contests. We give away products. Last month, we gave away a $5,000 per listen subwoofer. And that is something where a manufacturer benefits because they get the mailing list for that. So they could use the emails and they can market to those people in the future. And this is fully disclosed in the contest program. There's a lot of legal stuff you have to get. You have to dot your I's and cross your T's in order to run contests and make sure everything is legit. Now, the downside is our contests are only usually available in the continental US. And I apologize to our international viewers. I would like to work with more international companies to make these contests global so everybody could benefit from it. And I'm always trying to give you guys the coolest prizes. We're giving away, multi-$1,000 receivers. We're running a pair of MartinLogan F100s right now that are like $5,000 a pair. I give you guys the coolest products. I really work hard to get the manufacturers to upgrade what they're going to offer to the contest, because I just want to give back to the community as well. What else do we charge for? We charge for virtual press events. So I started this on YouTube back when COVID hit and the trade shows all stopped. I figured out a way to actually bring the trade shows to you online through YouTube. And that's become a huge success for us. We line that stuff up virtually every month for manufacturers. Companies like Massimo, when they have new product releases for Denon, they'll line up all the products. You've seen it with Phil Jones and some of the other guys. And we run an hour live stream and we do a Q&A session. And I love doing that. That's just a pure joy. We also do on-location videos. So if a company wants to fly us out and they want us to do a product overview or factory overview, we charge for that. And don't kid yourself, every successful YouTube channel charges for that. And rightfully so. It's a lot of work to go out to a company, bring a video crew, do the editing, do the interviewing. It takes time out of your schedule. You should be compensated for that. It should be a fair thing. So these are the kind of things that we charge for on YouTube. And anytime we charge for this kind of content on YouTube, we label it as sponsored and we even put disclaimers in it. In fact, I want to share with you on my screen here, if I could do a quick screen share, some legal notices on the Audioholics website. Again, we talk about how we get the products in for review, how we get the disclosures. Any sponsored content, whether it's on the Audioholics website or on the forum, it's fully compliant with FTC Article 16 CFR Part 255, which deals with the disclosure and endorsement and testimonials. So this is very serious stuff. And I do have a lawyer on staff, and I make sure that all of our legal stuff, all of our stuff is in order. I hope you guys understand more clearly now how the business aspects run on Audioholics, how the review process runs on Audioholics. And I want to keep things positive. I'm not trying to talk negatively about anybody. I understand the people on Audio Science Review. A lot of the forum people there just don't like us, and that's fine. And I just try to avoid drama. I don't want to have drama with anybody. I'd like to be loved by everybody. And I know that's not possible. And, you know, when it comes to analyzing reviews, you always have to take things with a grain of salt, obviously. I don't ever tell people that you should take a review like it's a biblical source, including my own. If you read the review and you like the content in it and you like our assessment and you like other people's assessment, that's great. That'll help you make an informed purchasing decision. And again, I always recommend you get multiple data points if you can. Go to multiple reputable websites, print magazines, YouTube channels. There's a lot of great information out there. And I think it'll give you a better rounded opinion of a product before you go out and buy it. And that's really, at the end of the day, the goal of what we all do. So I want to also share with you now, this is sponsored. We're giving away a pair of MartinLogan F100s. These are the product that Matthew Pose reviewed recently. We review it, you win it. The MartinLogan Motion XT F100s. I absolutely love these speakers. I got to hear him multiple times at trade shows, at Audio Advice. I got to Matthew Pose, set him up at his house. And yes, they don't measure as pristinely as some of the other products we review, like a Perlison. But you know what? They sound incredible. They are very neutral. They're beautiful speakers. I think anybody that wins this speaker is going to be a very happy owner. And this contest ends January 31st. And I encourage you guys to enter it. I'll put some links in the thread below. And guys, I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. We've got a lot of cool stuff planned for 2024. We've got a lot of guests coming on to do more education. We're going to be talking about loudspeaker standards. We're going to be talking about calibration. I'm just really excited. I'm happy that after 25 years, I'm still going strong. Audioholics is stronger than ever. I've got so many talented people working for us behind the scenes. I'm grateful for, and I'm grateful for you guys for watching, for giving me an audience. So guys, I hope you like this video. Don't forget about our Patreon channel at patreon.com/audioholics. We appreciate your support. You get direct access to me if you want to suggest video topics. And until next time, my friends, keep listening.